First down on the 30. And here is Adrian Peterson, and he's going to be knocked back by Aaron Donald for a loss, and that'll be the
as well.
Second down and 8. The handoff to Peterson. He's going to be knocked back. Aaron Donald. Tell you what, we have mentioned Aaron Donald's name a lot. Third down and 4, and here comes the blitz. McCown in trouble, and down he goes. You could see it coming from the outside, both sides, and Eugene Sims coming in to make the play, and a loss of 3.
Vic, you may call that a negative play for Tampa Bay.
First down, and here's Rainey again, and Rainey's going to be pulled down, and Aaron Donald. Third and 2, here's James, and he's not going to get close as the Rams defense tightens. Eugene Sims.
This is Murray. Aaron Donald, a rookie first-round pick out of Pitt. Activated from the practice squad just yesterday. First and 10 from the 38 off the fake to Lynch. Wilson in trouble, wrapped up. And for the Rams, sack number 2 on the season.
They just collapsed that pocket right around him. Watch how this pocket goes and just closes up. Right here. They're going to just wrap him, keep him right inside.
Now second and goal. Lynch wrapped up and forced back.
I tell you, he is going.
Curse comes in motion for Seattle. On first down from the 10-yard line, this is Lynch. And again, it is Aaron Donald.
Chiefs starting from the 20, and they have 3 wide receivers split to the left. And Jamal Charles is going to be hit for a loss, and the ball is loose. Loose ball is taken up by the Rams. And the turnover inside the 10. The Rams get a big break on their defense.
From the football, let's take a look here if he's down. Oh, that ball's out.
Davis doing the job off the bench, and now tackled for a loss by Aaron Donald. Donald comes knifing in.
Pressure. Kaepernick in trouble, and down he goes again. Aaron Donald, the rookie, gets there. His 3rd sack of the year and the 7th sack.
On second down 5. Ellington brought down right away into the arms of Aaron Donald, the number 1 pick from Pittsburgh.
5 receiver set. Manning. Manning. Brought down. Manning is sacked back at the 40. Robert Quinn, the first man, and then Aaron Donald finishes him off. It's a loss of 12.
Shovel pass to Oliver. The Rams were ready. Bottled up and thrown back at the 10-yard line. Rivers to throw. He's in trouble here. And the Ram defense shows up big when needed the most. The rookie, Aaron Donald. And a timeout for the Rams.
We knew Aaron Donald would factor into this game at some point, and it's at the end.
Second down and 10. Schaub is sacked. Aaron Donald with his 6th sack of the season. The rookie out of Pittsburgh is certainly...
Brockers, Donald, this is what happens when you take away the run. You let the guys up front feast.
On 3rd and 1, the rush from the outside, they've got McCoy. That time, Alfred Morris missed the block on Eugene Sims, and he got to McCoy for the sack. And once again, the Redskins offense, 3 and out.
I talk about when it's just an
So RG3 back in. Under pressure, they've got him. 7th sack of the game for the Rams as the defense continues to dominate.
Floyd and Fitzgerald lined up to the left. 4 wides and all for Stanton, and that will take him out of field goal range. Aaron Donald got to him along with Ogletree, a rookie from Virginia Tech. Actually, it looks like it's going to be Ryan Lindley. You know, they got them both warming up on the sideline.
Wilson to throw it. And Wilson sacked. Second sack of the day. A fumble on the play as well. But they will call Russell Wilson down. Aaron Donald, the rookie, collapsing the pocket. Second down and 6 at the 24. Turbin. And he will not get back to the line of scrimmage. Aaron Donald.
They go for it on 4th down. Pick up the first. 10th play of the drive off the fake to Lynch. Wilson down. Back at the 36-yard line. 49-yard field goal attempt. Went for it on 4th down, but then a big sack. And now Marshawn Lynch is bottled up. Aaron Donald, the first. Empty backfield. Wilson on 3rd down. Under pressure. Sack for the 4th time today. Second time by Aaron Donald to try and stay alive. It is Lynch, and he's stopped. That will do it. Sound familiar? Seahawks cannot pick up a yard.
I think they're going to come up with something.
3rd down and 2, and they're going to throw it, and Cousins runs out of time, and Aaron Donald, along with Chris Long, combined to make the stop. They have 3 wide receivers out there now on 2nd down and 8. Here's Morris, and the Rams are there. Aaron Donald making the tackle, so at least the Rams have the Redskins in a 3rd and long.
20, but I have 2.9% body fat, which I think everybody in the room shook their head.
Bell wrapped up by Aaron Donald. Bell. And this Ram defense all fired up. Aaron Donald leading the charge again. Roethlisberger pulled it down, and he goes down. And that's Aaron Donald once again.
Aaron Donald just working in the middle of the...
And has a good favorable matchup if they want to put it up in the air to him.
They're going to run it to David Johnson, and he is denied. Nowhere close to the first down.
Have to come away with 7 points. Empty backfield as Duke Johnson split wide, the running back. 6 different receivers have caught a pass. McCown's looking for another one, and McCown's will tuck it, and out of bounds he goes. McCown now 13 completions. He's up over 100 yards. Quick handoff and met in the backfield. Aaron Donald.
Jeffrey on the top of your screen. Cutler is sacked. Back at the 8-yard line. Aaron Donald, the first one to get there. Second down and 9. Back to Langford, and he is dragged down for a loss. 3rd and 14. Cutler in trouble. Flag is down, and Cutler goes down as well.
Believe that you're the guy for them.
On 3rd and 11. Carey lost the football. Scooped up by Aaron Donald, and Aaron Donald now is off to the races. The race doesn't go very long as Martellus Bennett catches up to him. But a turnover by the Bears with 2:23 to go.
It's a good thing Martellus Bennett's the one that caught him because nobody else on the field would be big enough to tackle him.
It was a short race.
Active today, but they've got a good little group of tight ends here too as well.
From the St. Louis 41 as Forsett is thrown back by one of your favorite players to watch, Aaron. From the 11, Flacco in trouble. Down he goes. It is Aaron Donald yet again.
You come into the game, you know about him, you know how well he plays, you know how often he's in your backfield, and they're still unable to get a block on him.
Extra pressure coming on 2nd and 10, and Palmer is going to go down. Sacked for the 18th time this year. Give LaMarcus Joyner credit for dumping the quarterback. Aaron Donald also putting some pressure on up the middle.
Nice design by Greg Williams here. LaMarcus Joyner's at the top of your screen, looking like he's in man-to-man.
Thrown for a loss. Kerwin Williams and Aaron Donald in on the tackle. Well, at this moment, the Rams are looking for a silver lining somewhere. Theo Riddick leads all running backs in catches this season is in. Stafford is going to go down. The Rams with an opening series sack, and that's number 9 for Aaron Donald, whom you just mentioned.
Well, if you get him in any kind of one-on-one situations, he's going to win.
Calvin Johnson, turning 30 this year, had been bothered by an ankle injury. And Stafford's going to go down.
Dude, when you drop back to throw the football, one-on-one, forget about it. He ends up just throwing him by and getting a sack.
All right, thanks, Kurt. And Stafford is going to go down one more time. And Aaron Donald.
For the Buccaneers, we're down to 9:38 to play in the first half. Sims remains in there, gets the call. Brought down in the backfield by Donald. Martin in the backfield, gets the call. Martin, thrown down. Aaron Donald cannot be stopped. Make enough of a mark to get to the NFL. Running play again, and nothing there. Aaron Donald is all world.
Brown the carry. They just can't run the ball against this Ram defense. As Aaron Donald going to the Pro Bowl, making the play.
How good is Aaron Donald?
Group for the Rams. 2nd and 12, rolls left side. Draws a crowd. And a loss on the play. And there's Aaron Donald to clean it up. He did last year when they moved him into that position. Excellent player. Here's Wilson. He keeps it on that read option, and he'll lose yardage as Westbrooks and Aaron Donald are there to tap him down. A loss of 2.
Winston in an early hole, and here is Sims, and Sims is going to lose some more yardage. No chance. Aaron Donald.
A gain of 3. They're going to turn around and hand it off to David Johnson, and that is Aaron Donald, the first man there to meet him. That'll be a loss of 2. Not a lot of acorns in a desert. And this one is loose. And Sims is on top of it. It looked like Donald got a hand to strip it away. And it is LA football. And Palmer is sacked, and there's a flag down.
More of a commitment, more of an emphasis on running the football.
McCoy in, and Taylor's going to go down. Coming through, they had Dominique Easley, who forced a fumble last week.
He's able to beat Tavon Austin across his face.
Alexander with pressure too. Here comes a Donald tackle on the running back, LaShawn McCoy, throwing him for a loss of 1.
From the 26. Stafford. Pressure, and Stafford goes down, sacked.
Rainey in the backfield, 1st and 10. Rainey, trying to block, Ogletree. Look at the missed tackles for the Rams. And finally, he is brought down at about the 37-yard line.
Like D linemen rather than quarterback and receivers.
Did it without him last year, but he's a nice addition. As this run game going nowhere, and there is Aaron Donald flying in the backfield. Their defense has done a great job. They go quick here out of the timeout. Newton back, pressure up the middle, and down he goes. Aaron Donald coming through like a bull. Newton going to throw. Pressure up the middle, hit, and sacked. There's your guy. Second sack of the game for Aaron Donald.
Catches his breath. Hightower thrown down for a loss at midfield. Aaron Donald having another Pro Bowl season. Knocked down, the ball is out. It's a loose football after the sack. And the Rams have it. You expect the Saints to come out and try to run and pound the football. Hightower knocked down right at midfield. Let's get a game break. Check in, say hi.
Blunt sidesteps one tackler, but not the next. So there's your guys. Aaron Donald came in there and helped blow that play up.
From Cleveland with Kyle Shanahan and take the protections to his own and not have Matt Ryan worry about it.
Matt Ryan right now is worried about the protection as Aaron Donald comes in and gets the sack. That'll be Donald's 7th.
Need to get to the 48 of the Rams on 3rd down. Protection. Kaepernick goes down. Aaron Donald, the Pro Bowler.
His opportunity.
5 carries, 12 yards for Pirine in the opening half, and he'll get it to begin the second half. And he was dropped by one arm.
Yard line to keep the game alive. 5 receivers out there. Hoyer can't get the play off. Aaron Donald with the big one for the Rams.
Ezekiel Elliott after he picked up 16 there. This time the Rams bottle him up, led by Aaron Donald. Let's check it again with Carissa for a game break.
So fresh set it down as they snap it just inside the 40. And this play is blown up by Aaron Donald. Lacey never had a chance. Fire it in there. And Lockett loves playing against the Rams. Had a $130 and a touchdown in the last meeting against LA last December. This is Lacey. Make it J.D. McKissick unable to find daylight.
And down goes Bortles. The ball is knocked loose. And jumping on it is Patrick Omameh. It was Aaron Donald who forced the fumble, and that'll bring up 4th down.
On 3rd and 11, Palmer being rushed, and he's sacked on the play by Aaron Donald. The first man in was Robert Quinn. He missed. Donald finished.
3rd down at 9. Giants must get to the 36 for a 1st down. Ball comes loose. On the sack by Aaron Donald. Rams recovered.
For Deshaun Watson. They lost 20-14. Disappointing performance at home against Indianapolis. Savage loses the football. It is trying to be scooped up, knocked around, and the Rams have it. Longacre eventually comes up with it. 3-5 on the season. They're 0-5 when allowing 20 points or more. They've held the Rams to 9. Lamar Miller, it's blown up by Aaron Donald.
Going up top again, or will he? No, he doesn't have a chance because Aaron Donald got to him.
With the ground game. Here they have to throw it on 3rd down. And Gabbard is going to be sacked inside the 20 by Aaron Donald. His 7th sack of the season. Wade Phillips, because he was here through the struggling years with the Rams. As Gabbard gets knocked down again, that the defense is complicated, but Wade Phillips makes it easy.
Wilson in trouble, and down he goes, and a penalty to boot. Aaron Donald got there first, and Barwin was there as well. Now let's see the penalty.
He comes up with a big-time catch.
So they hustle to the line, pressure, Wilson in trouble, Wilson running for his life, Aaron Donald and threw it backwards. That's a fumble.
Has anyone called that down? It creates enough attention that the other guys end up getting the play.
Here comes Donald again, and he got him again. Unbelievable on cue, his 3rd sack of the game.
Titans are to receive the second half kickoff. Ball is fluttered, knocked out of the arms of Mariota. And
yeah, there's no whistle, so you got to get on the football.
A live football. And looked like Mariota came up with it after 3 other players had a shot at it. And now there's a whistle.
So with 2 deep here in the secondary, Ryan slipping away, and he's going to go down again at the 13-yard line. That's Morgan Fox, and he's taking the place of Rockers. Coleman is the fullback. Freeman, he's going to get wrapped up and thrown down by Aaron Donald in the backfield. And that's why a lot of people think he's the best interior lineman in the league.
Here's Johnson trying to go outside, and he's not going to get to even the 5. He's going to lose about 2 or 3 yards.
Second down and 4, and how Dalvin Cook made the defensive player miss. That was Marcus Peters who got through. A loss of 3. It could have been even worse. Tell you what, I'm not sure he was touched, but they blew it dead. And I'm not sure you can review it. Rush gets home, and Donald's got his first. Pressure again, and a sack for Aaron Donald. And he just throws Kirk Cousins to the ground, his second of the night. And that'll take us to the 2-minute warning and give you a chance to watch number 99.
The offensive coordinator from the 25. Wilson still on the ball, is thrown down by Aaron Donald, who many feel may be the best defensive lineman in the game.
Keenum in trouble. Deep trouble. Deep trouble as he's sacked back at the 35 by Aaron Donald.
San Francisco has lost 4 straight coming in, 1-1 at home, 1-5 coming into the game. Breida back in with a 1st and 10 pitch. And hit by a ton, including Mark Barron, who allows him just a gain of 2. Rich out to the 22-yard line and a shove after the play. He had just come in from being worked on with an injury in the first series. Never saw it.
What would happen? These are the situations you want to avoid against the Rams.
Beathard, hit as he throws, he'll go down. May have been Donald. Regardless, another Rams sledgehammer. 1st and goal at the 5. Hughes check. Oh, stonewalled right there. Donald came through. Beathard. Clincher with the block at the right tackle, but then they come through, leaking through, and they bring him down. He had Donald. He may have been the first, but man, it was a meet at the quarterback. 4th sack today, and they're 4 in the secondary for the Rams. Beathard hit and brought down. Sacked right there. Brockers was one of them. And then Donald was the other. Should be played. I thought that was very flattering.
Showed him what not to do. You're coaching quarterbacks.
Come on. They're down in 4. Beathard with the right foot. Donald, number 4. 4th sack today by that man, Aaron Donald. Reigning Defensive Player of the Year. 7th sack authored by that Ram defense. And the Niners have got a punt again.
And this Ram defense has no let-up in it with this huge lead.
2nd and 10. Always trying to cut, and then here comes Brockers to bring him down eventually and losing 3 back at the 19.
And they're going to throw it 3rd and 2 here. And there is Aaron Donald. That play seemed to take 4 out. Initially, you see Cobb. Rodgers wanted him to come across, but then Cobb looks up and he sees the play clock. It was winding down. 17 at the bottom of your screen, Devontae Adams. And they go one-on-one at the top. And they're looking at him here, but Rodgers can't escape Aaron Donald. His 2nd sack of the game and his 6th. Breeze is looking for.
On 1st down from the 18, well played, Kamara, Aaron Donald.
Quarterbacks so far in this game.
Here's Ingram, balls out, recovered by Donald. Knocked out by Ebukam. And that's what you were talking about coming in, whether it's a takeaway or a key stop on a 3rd down. Now Mark Ingram is down and needing attention after that fumble. That's his 2nd fumble.
Former basketball player at Western Kentucky. That's why he can move. 2nd and 2. Here's the handoff. Precise. Had 2 Rams waiting for him, including Aaron Donald. 7 of them now, and of course 3 of them drop back as Wilson is taken down at the 21. It was Donald who got to him first, along with John Franklin. Good crowd here at the Coliseum urging on this defense as they get to Wilson for a 2nd time. And once again, it's Aaron Donald His second sack already. Wilson smashed. Sue.
Look at these two big guys. I mean, Donald is relentless. Sue does a great.
Taken down, ball is loose, picked up, Ebucom returns it for the score. Scoop and score, Rams.
They know he's going outside, a little stutter. He stutters the offensive lineman to freeze him, and then they use his speed and athletic ability to get outside. And what do we say? The great ones don't just get the sack, they get the football out. And Mahomes feels it, but he goes right after the football. That's what the great ones do.
Give Wade Phillips credit. He really two-man behind us. So he had zone, safeties up high, and played man underneath, so they couldn't get the ball. This is there. You take a shot. You're Kansas City.
Mahomes, here he comes, and he gets a strip sack again. Ball is loose, still loose, and it's scooped up that time by John Franklin Myers. Aaron Donald again.
Wow.
You know, he's a game changer, isn't he, Bug? Look at him go around the edge. Talk about Irvin fighting him, but after a while, it's just a matter of time that Aaron Donald is going to hit home.
What again, and what a play made by who else? We're going to hand it off on second down and 4.
Man, this is my MVP. A lot of football games.
Second down, and Stafford is sacked by Aaron Donald.
Yeah, it's on that corner. His 6'1" frame helps him because he's a small.
42. They're going to fake the handoff this time, and Stafford is sacked and the ball is loose. And they're still scrambling for the football. Fighting for it at the bottom of that pile. It looks like the Rams might have it.
Well, you can only put 2 guys on him. MVP. You're going to put 2 guys on him. You've got to be able to handle him with 2 guys, right? Not so fast. Again, with a swim move, getting skinny, splitting a double team, laying out, and going for the strip. Now, there's no game plan that Jim Bob Cooter can draw up. There's no other blocking scheme that Jim Bob Cooter can draw up. Eventually, it comes down to 2 NFL offensive linemen can block 1 NFL defensive lineman, unless it's the MVP of the league, and Aaron Donald.
25 to go. They hand it to Blunt, and look who's there. Just slings a 250-pound man to the deck.
Fake it to him here. Rosen pressured, and down he goes. Who else but Aaron Donald? Chase Edmonds in the game in the backfield, I believe, for the first time, and he gets eaten alive by Aaron Donald. My goodness.
Big way, because he just keeps standing in there and firing, even though he has to take a hit like that from Aaron Donald. And behind 9 different offensive, I think the other stuff will come along because the talent is obviously there. You got to surround him with people, though, Kevin.
14-9 lead over the 49ers with under 7 minutes to play in that game. And Rosen goes down again. That is, nope. They say Rosen was not touched, and he's still on his feet. He's going to pick up a first down. Aaron Donald saying, wait a second, I thought I got a hand on him.
So this is going to come back if there's a and there's the red challenge flag.
And there's the first sack of the afternoon for Aaron Donald. That gives him 20.5 on the year. He is 2 away from tying Michael Strahan's.
He is a little ginger with the foot and the ankle when he makes those breaks off it.
Elliott knocked down by Aaron Donald. And couldn't get the breeze. Here is Ingram, and there is Aaron Donald making a play. But the correct call. Here is Ingram not going down, and now Aaron Donald gets to him, and a big loss on the play.
He's coming off of a preseason. He had gotten a lot of work, so it's not like it's down the road and he hasn't seen much action.
There's Donald, brilliant play. as he brings down Kamara. He is a flash coming through that offensive line. A loss of 6.
Holds off a first down, at least for the moment. 3rd down and 1. Whoa. And look out, and there he is again.
Oh, what a move.
Already starting to wreck the game. The Cleveland drive with 6.5 minutes to go in regulation. Off the fake, look out, and down he goes, and sooner or later, Aaron Donald was going to get a sack. There it is. First of the season for him.
So good with his hands. Watch the way that he just gets inside Bitonio and gets there, and now the
11-point lead after their 3rd takeaway. It's Jones bouncing outside or trying to, dragged down by Aaron Donald. Laura.
Well, it's a first down. Here's Carson, and there's Donald. Fowler came in to help out, but Aaron Donald right in the middle of it for LA.
3rd down and 5. Garoppolo's going to go down, and it's going to be Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald. And Matt Breida is going to be tackled by Aaron Donald behind the line of scrimmage. Breida. And it's Aaron Donald. And not to mention Daniel Brunskill making his first NFL start at right tackle for Mike McClinchy. And Garoppolo loses the ball, and it's picked up by Corey Littleton. And on the turnover, Littleton. Now it's Nickel Roby-Coleman. They did the rest.
Well, I think it's Fowler out here that's coming around the corner right there, dips, and no, it is it was Aaron Donald on the inside. Everybody's swatting at that ball, and then it just gets to be like schoolyard football right here with the lateral. Here it is. Fowler gets by, but there is Aaron Donald tipping that ball. Brocker's wrapping up the quarterback, and Littleton getting into the razzle-dazzle. Watch this lateral. Beautiful play.
Great alert play by Corey Littleton, who had a pick 6 against the 49ers.
Ryan in trouble, and they've got him. And the ball was picked up by Aaron Donald, but they blew the whistle. Ryan is down and hurting.
To make sure. But look at that. He just beats Wes Schweitzer, number 71, who subs in at either guard. And that ball looks like it came out. So we should have a recovery for Aaron Donald, but down by contact since he was on Matt Ryan when he made the play. See the ball working its way free? See how it's working? It's loose. So that means now what happens next? Donald comes up with the football. That's a recovery to me. And he's down by contact because he's next to Matt Ryan.
A lot of players wearing the screw-in cleats today instead of the molded, more plastic cleats today.
That's Aaron Donald doing what he does best, fighting off blocks and stopping the ball carrier.
Aaron Donald, though, has a combination of all those things.
On 3rd and 7, and that pass batted right back to Dalton. First down. And Dalton looking to throw, can't get away and goes down. Aaron Donald.
Blue 20. Blue 20 set. On 1st down inside his own 5 from his own end zone. Sacked and a safety on Rudolph. Aaron Donald and Clay Matthews got to him.
The goal for this offense coming in, and Randy Fichtner talked about it. He's going to have his moments, but we have to minimize the impact. They've done a really nice job.
Tony Brooks-James tackled right away by Aaron Donald, who was part of that safety a moment ago, to McDonald. So they get 9. Rudolph hung in there. Edmonds will lose yardage, and it's going to bring up 3rd down at about 3.5, 4 yards.
And 11. And Daniel, look out, gets sacked. The 20-yard line, and number 99, Aaron Donald, is right there. And that's going to take us to the 2-minute warning. So Trubisky doesn't look any the worse for wear, at least physically, but that'll be the first question, obviously.
To the left, that's him in motion. And Murray is knocked down. What a play by Donald. It was like it was a rag doll. He threw to the turf as Murray tried to take off.
Yeah, just amazing. Watch the inside move right here against Justin Pugh.
4th and 2. Cardinals going for it. And he can't run to get there. Usually this season he's been able to do that. But Donald and Brockers kept him from getting upfield.
Aaron Donald is just relentless, and he is always moving.
Blitz coming. And Wilson gets taken down, and sooner or later, 99 is going to get you. Aaron Donald. Came in like a runaway truck.
Yeah, and sometimes
Wilson. Down he goes again. That Rams defense all night long. Aaron Donald is there. What else is new?
Here against the Rams today. Here's Pollard. He's wrapped up in the backfield, and a good play is made by Aaron Donald.
Emotional roller coaster games. And here's Garoppolo. Pressure up the middle, and Aaron Donald gets home. Well, we were telling you about the job they had done on him. Not anymore, as Donald gets through for his 12th sack of the year.
Their goal all the time is to try and find a way to single him up in pass rush, and they actually got it there against Daniel Brunskill. No.
4-man rush. Garoppolo can't find anyone, and now he is sacked again for the 5th time tonight. Donald and Fowler combine on it.
And the Rams choked off the middle of the field. Nowhere.
he basically has won the job, and they're excited to see him play.
Beat out Cameron Irving, who appeared to have the job until right now. You've got Prescott.
And to blitz somebody alongside Aaron Donald to create those one-on-one matchups, and it paid off that time.
A scary quarterback.
Allen will keep. Looked like he wanted to pitch it to Singletary, but brought down by Aaron Donald. 30 of the Rams. Allen under pressure. He has the football. Looked like he wanted to get rid of it.
Right, so you're going to set this up, and you got to run away, and you think you can run away from Aaron Donald, but that just shows you the freakish nature of this guy. He's not a 3 technique. He's not a 1 technique.
Pressure is picked up the middle. Allen is going to get thrown down in midfield. And it looked like the ball may have come out. Aaron Donald got to him, and the Rams have a takeaway. Aaron Donald recovered the fumble.
He's complaining to the ref because he felt like he got horse collared, but remember, there is no horse collar in the pocket for the quarterback.
Look at that push and pull, and yeah, that is totally clean. You don't have to look at the ref for anything. That is just Aaron Donald destroying the Bills' offense here in the fourth quarter.
Pressure is picked up the middle. Allen is going to get thrown down in midfield. And it looked like the ball may have come out. Aaron Donald got to him, and the Rams have a takeaway.
It's third down and long situations.
Jones stepping up and into a sack. Samson Ebukam was right there, his first sack of the season.
They did win, but they only put up 17 points against the Giants. A different story here against Washington. Kyle Allen is taken down. Mr. Allen, meet Mr. Aaron Donald. Maybe you've heard of him, the best defender in the National Football League, getting his 4th sack of the season.
Yeah, you've got...
3rd down and 4. Some pressure, and there's the first time Alex Smith is hit.
And, you know, you step up and you climb. He has so much athleticism in that pocket. And you could see Alex Smith.
Here on 3rd and 13. Here comes pressure. And Smith is going to be draped. And they'll just blow the play dead before he even goes down to the ground. And Aaron Donald, the first in there again. It is a 3. 3rd and 10. And the ball is out. Smith picks it up, and then he's dropped to the ground, back behind the line of scrimmage.
Foles in trouble. There's your first sack of the game. Greg Gaines and Aaron Donald will share it. Loss of 4 on the play. The hip injury suffered last November, and to his first pass attempt was
First down, Los Angeles.
Aaron Donald right there on Eric Flowers, and you see that's a fumble. That's a fumble. He did not get his hand going in a forward motion before that ball came out. Leonard Floyd with the recovery, but that's the difference, and Shannon told us about it early on. Friday practice, he looked sharp. That's fine. Now you have Aaron Donald, best defender in the game, along with Leonard Floyd. This defensive front, you've got to get the ball out quicker.
So the arm Tua again split out wide to the left. Perry was a quarterback at the Naval Academy, and it did not fool Aaron Donald.
The best corner in the business. He not only covers you, he will come up and make plays in the run game as well.
Tipped in the air, and there's a play made by the Rams. Ram defense going to have to take some chances here, trailing by 11. Ball is out. Rams have it. It's a takeaway, and on his way to the end zone, Troy Hill. And Donald forced this fumble. Look at this.
Absolutely. Getting into the backfield, being disruptive before you can get the play started. And Hill is Johnny on the spot, and he picks it up.
Yeah, over 560 snaps. He's played only one holding call. That was on a running play against Donald, and there he is again.
Or McKivitz, excuse me, he just has no chance. He absolutely has no chance. That was McGlinchey. He has no chance against a faster, stronger Aaron Donald.
Murray is sacked back at the 32-yard line, and it's Aaron Donald with his 11th sack of the season.
And this is what you can't have. This is exactly what you can't have.
The Patriots are looking at it like, you know, hey, they can climb right back into this ball game. Newton is down. Cam Newton and Aaron Donald, he'll work all the way up and down that offensive front. Play action and swallowed up. That's than the one that we saw in Chicago. High expectations there with the Bears.
Perriman first in motion. Now Wesco on second and goal. Gore the carry, and there's Aaron Donald.
And a sack by Aaron Donald. You need a play? Look for 99. That should be on his business card.
Here's a 2nd and 10. They'll go Drake, and they'll go nowhere because Donald has another tackle for a loss. He can't go into the postseason with 3 straight losses. That play by Aaron Donald.
Penalties like they've had here on the last 2 plays, it's pretty tough sledding trying to convert. Wilson trying to set up quick and throw, and he is brought down by Aaron Donald. The All-Pro gets him again, and that's the 14th time he has sacked Russell Wilson. And sacked again as Russell Wilson is Fox and Donald combined. This #1 ranked defense has come out flying here in this wild card game to start a loss of 9. Well, Aaron Donald.
And Dalton on the 4th down, and finally.
Oh, this is Aaron Donald time now. And there's Donald. Ball comes out, and Bernard ends up with it and dives out of bounds with another first down. Aaron Donald. It's a forward fumble inside of 2 minutes. Since we've heard a crowd like this in Los Angeles for a football team. 3rd false start against the Buccaneers because of it. They set up a screen for Bernard. Hello, Aaron Donald. Collins is not gonna get it. Aaron Donald was in there first. Wilson in trouble. Able to spin out of there. Not again. Donald gets him.
I mean, it's been evident all day long.
And there's more traffic. Aaron Donald ends up on top of Daniel Jones. Leonard Floyd in on it as well. The whole front pushing the line.
Well, here is Aaron Donald.
Second on the team, second on the Rams in tackles.
on a 3rd and 10. And he's going to go down. The Rams get a sack. As Mills stepped up in the pocket, and it all collapsed around him. Looked like Greg Gaines was part of the group, and again, he's playing because of the pec injury to Sebastian Joseph Day. Donald part of that as well.
Yeah, you've got some movement in, but that's something that people on the outside don't really get a chance to hear about.
Mills dancing around, and he'll be sacked back at the 23-yard line. Leonard Floyd having a Pro Bowl year for the Rams. Now 5.5 sacks this season.
Yeah, and when you put 9
Astros in their 3rd World Series in the last 5 years, and he's going to go down. The whistle blows. Aaron Donald would not let. You know, Davis Mills is not a little guy. He's 6'4".
And Ramsey on the play. Look out, and finally, but flags are down. It's Aaron Donald who will get the sack. Normally when those flags are thrown in that situation, it's going to be offensive holding.
They've run that play 6 times on this drive. Nobody better in the red zone than the 49ers. Not that time. Mitchell is stopped for a loss. Aaron Donald has had enough. In the 6th round, but he has become the starting tailback for this 49ers. And when you talk to him, he said, listen, this kid has no... Take a shot over the top. Slow developing play. That looked like some kind of mistake.
In the backfield, James Robinson, good to have him back there if you're a Jaguars fan. He's such a big part of this offense, although he just met Aaron Donald and coughed up the football, and it's turned over to Jalen Ramsey, the former Jaguar, who gets the loose ball. Third and 9, Rams rush 5. Lawrence in trouble. Lawrence is going down. Ernest Jones, now 1.5 sacks on the year for the rookie from South Carolina.
Here's a chance for this Rams defensive line.
2nd and 3 to hand off to Laviska Shenault, and you wondered what would happen. We saw Robinson not get... Cardinals, though, certainly in the driver's seat. Not only a 2-game lead entering play today as the sack comes. Leonard Floyd combining with Aaron Donald.
Starts in the backfield. Off the play fake. And Kyler's going to be taken down. Aaron Donald in the backfield.
Just wow. Goes right over Max Garcia. Watch him just get into Max and dump him right on Kyler. Kyler's like, what is going on?
I think he got the message early.
Absolutely.
Yes, they keep track of that and everything else. 2nd and goal from the 4. Tipped and intercepted. Picked off, it's Ernest Jones. Just what the Rams needed. The rookie out of South Carolina makes the play for Los Angeles. We've seen some Kyler magic before in this place, in this direction. Murray stays on his feet. Now he'll go down. And that's how the game will end. It's a 3-sack performance for Aaron Donald.
Murray, you got to spike this. You got to get up there and spike it and give yourself a chance to throw a Hail Mary. They clearly were not ready for this situation. Didn't even get the ball off.
Rams blitz on 3rd and 7. Wilson tries to dump it off, but there's Aaron Donald. On 1st down, Wilson is in trouble, and he can't get away. Aaron Donald.
This is just split into double team. Posick and Lewis slide. You got a 2-on-1, and that's once again.
There's Madison, and he gets blown up immediately. Toss to Madison, and he gets dragged down by Aaron Donald from the backside. 2nd and goal, handoff, and nothing there. Wanwu wrapped up by Donald. 6 grabs for 84 yards for Jefferson today. Cousins being chased by Greg Gaines. Escaped him, got hit, lost the ball. Darisaw reaching for it. It's still loose. And it's Darisaw to the rescue for the Vikings.
And for a guy who hasn't played a ton of games, when he's been in there, he's done just that.
Nothing there. Aaron Donald in the backfield, knocking down Devontae Freeman.
For this system, I think it's a little different. You're going to see Andrews and Jalen Ramsey up top.
Huntley looking in that direction, trying to navigate, and brought down by Aaron Donald and Leonard Floyd.
And that's what we've seen today, especially in the second half.
They need a miracle now. It's Bateman. Back for Brown. Punched loose by Aaron Donald. Rams have it, and the Rams win it.
Yeah, he's just got to be smart and realize that a punt right now is a good thing. And Shanahan's going to take that decision out of his hands. Aaron Donald came in and just stoned Elijah Mitchell.
From the 25 on 1st and 10. Need to get something going, and that's not the way to start it. Aaron Donald says hello.
When we saw Aaron Donald against the Cardinals in their second game, we saw him do the same thing to Max Garcia. We saw him bull rush him.
Normally the third down back in the backfield on first down here from the 15. Brady under pressure. Gets swallowed up at the 7-yard line. Pressure. 2nd and 10. Yes. Correct. Rolling away. Burrow. He gets slung out of bounds.
Aaron Donald's getting bounced around everywhere that he goes, and I'm sure the frustration is building. He just wants to go make a difference in this game. Comes over.
Burrow under pressure. They get him at the 20-yard line. Heat was on, and Donald is right there.
Now they're going to bring somebody over the center so the center can't turn and help Adeniji. And when that happens, this was what everybody was anticipating happening. They just have not created enough one-on-ones.
Got more money back here now. Ready for another run. One-handed catch by Allen. Pressured. And on cue, brought down by Aaron Donald.
Near the 5-yard line.
See him all lined up on the left. He's going to heave it to the left if he could buy some time.
In trouble.
No.
Mariota trying to step away. In trouble. The ball is out. Mariota is down. The Rams recover, and the game is over. And the Los Angeles Rams survive quite the scare. Jordan Fuller, David Long, Kobe Durant, and Troy Hill. Murray wanted to swing it. Pressure coming, and Donald! Is he going to get the sack? It's an intentional grounding flag.
Like those Raiders defensive tackles running around. He barely nipped at his heels, too. They've kind of tipped the scale in favor of running the football.
2nd and 8 at the 30. Draw play. Benjamin spins off his blocker, and down he goes in the arms of Aaron Donald. That's a loss of 1. Back to the 31-yard line.
Kittle in motion and a toss, and this one loses yardage too. Aaron Donald made that play.
Getting in and out of checks. Kills, check with knees.
3rd down, pressure. Donald got him, ball is loose. And it's picked up by Dallas, but Aaron Donald gets home. Here's rush pressure, and down he goes. Aaron Donald again, and he is making his mark in this first half.
Yeah, sometimes good coaching is just finding a matchup that you like. Right now, they really...
McCaffrey, and nothing there. Aaron Donald says no thanks. Let's check in with the health of Higbee with Tom Rinaldi.
Get something quickly. Throw a smoke route. Just throw it to him right away.
Here they come. Oh, and they take him down on 4th down. And the Rams will take over at the 47 of the Bucks.
Aaron Donald versus Tom Brady. This is literally the...
They have a single play today that's gone 20 yards. They could use one now. Well, it's batted down, and it's Donald. Well, he ended the last series with a sack, and he ends this one.
Do a little zone read here. Here we go.
2nd down and 5. Hill hands it off. And Kamara will lose yardage. Here's Aaron Donald.
And he gets the free lane.
3rd down, pressure again. Back-to-back sacks, and it's Aaron Donald. His first in his return. The first time he's ever gotten Geno.
Pressure, swallows him up. Sacked for the first time. Guess who? Aaron Donald got home.
That safety's everything. If he goes to Jamar, he's going to work the bottom of the screen. If he comes down, he's going to go one-on-one.
They run a game up front, and they get him. That's the one thing you cannot do if you're Burrow and the Bengals, and take a sack. Mixon had to dodge Donald in the backfield, and he'll be swarmed for a loss. Quick penetration by the great one, number 99. On 2nd and 17. It's Mixon. Crowd grumbling a little bit. They're kind of aligned with your thinking.
Can't say enough about how well he mastered just offense and the defensive side of the football.
2nd down and 10 against the Raheem Morris defense. And Richardson brought down by Aaron Donald.
Making his presence felt, Aaron Donald. Great recognition by Richardson.
1st and goal. Moss bottled up. Donald along with Young.
Rams defense got to find a way to stop it here. Down by 6. Swift and tackled immediately for no gain.
Thanks, Shannon. Great stuff. He led TCU with 58 yards on the ground in that title game. Williams bottled up.
Aaron Donald, he's too quick for these types of plays. You can't pull both the guard and the tackle and expect Aaron Donald is not going to go there and make a tackle for loss. Look how quick he is. Look how quick his feet are. He's been making these plays for years. 3-time NFL defensive MVP.
2nd and 10. Rondale Moore. There's a flag. Moore out of bounds at the 25.
This guy is real close to becoming that next elite pass rusher. They need somebody else alongside Aaron Donald.
More pressure on Prescott. He's in trouble, and he's dropped again. Aaron Donald gets home. Jonah Williams had the help there.
This offensive line, they're having trouble. Drop back. That was a little more of a max. He can get to a different call. That's the ultimate level of quarterback control.
3rd down. Pressure on Prescott. He's in trouble here, and he's sacked again by Aaron Donald. His 2nd of the game. Donald has the ball at the bottom of that, but I think Prescott was down.
Yeah, Michael.
Jordan Love said he looks for in these situations.
We look for him here. He's looking in that direction. Love trying to take off. Got tripped up.
Aaron Donald with his big play ability is able to come up with a huge 3rd down stop for the Ram defense.
You got to be kidding me. This guy is just, he's unbelievable. He's got 2 guys.
Oh my.
Charbonnet yet to score a touchdown in his NFL career, and he's not going to get one here. Byron Young and Aaron Donald combined to knock him out, and it's 3rd and goal.
Thought we weren't going to call him old. 1st down and 10, and Aaron Donald into the backfield, blasting Jerome Ford to the turf.
For Joe Flacco on this offense, they'll only get a little bit better each week.
Flacco in trouble, and Flacco is down. It's a safety, and it's Aaron Donald. It took him all day long, but finally, Aaron Donald gets the sack. 6.5 on the season, and he and Kobe Turner head to the sidelines
Flacco
to relish a win.
On 3rd and 2 against the blitz, Jackson has it tipped in the air and incomplete. It was knocked down by Russ Yeast, who is coming on that blitz.
And it's been it's been a bumpy road, not just with the injuries, getting booed at times, you know, at his own stadium. So he's a big fella at the 40.
Missed opportunities, take care of the ball, execute.
And let's see, low snap, not great execution to start as Tyrod Taylor on the run, and Aaron Donald got him around the ankles. 3rd down and 6 for the Giants. Rams rush 4. Taylor under pressure, able to get away for a moment, but down he goes. Aaron Donald finished him off. Kobe Turner got him around the ankles to start the sack process, a loss of 4.
Well, once again, it's all these picks and games up front, and Kobe Turner has really had success, number 91, with showing her first initial. Hanging in there. Offense has to help him.
2nd and 8 from the 11, and nowhere to go for Barkley. How about Desjuan Johnson?
the Toledo rookie, Mr. Irrelevant. Here's Taylor. Pressure coming. It's Donald again. 2 sacks today for Aaron Donald and 8 on the year.